One last question. You said you got into writing about detransitioning because you were interested in heretics, and now you've kind of become a heretic.
Yeah.
Do you think you manifested that? Did you want to always kind of live on the outside of mainstream? I mean, I kind of do, which is why I'm a comedian, right? Like my job, I guess, other than prostitution, is like the second oldest job. Like I'm like the town crier, I'm the fool, I'm the whatever. Like I'm the guy that's in the public square just shouting, and then people come by and throw them change or whatever. But what about heretics so fascinated you, and you seem very comfortable being one?
I guess that's probably because I haven't left my house in 3 months, and so I no longer have people screaming at me. Yeah, I mean, there's probably an element of self-reflection there. I don't think it was conscious at the time, but I would say that the writing that I've done before and and after that piece tends to I try to find the unexpected in things, and I've learned that almost nothing you see is as it appears to be, and so I think that's in part why I'm drawn to these things. And the more I read, the more I realize that everything I think I know about the world is more complex than I thought. So
yeah, it's the more and more informed you get, the less you feel like you have any clue of what's going on.
And the less you realize you can trust institutions. And I don't want to be like, I'm not Donald Trump. Unfortunately, I don't have his money or his spray tan. But, I don't believe in I don't want to be like the fake news person or whatever. But I will say like a lot of mainstream and
I mean, we saw the Covington
right,
thing. The Covington thing happened was completely fake. Jussie Smollett. I mean, there's a lot. We've seen a lot.
Okay, I got a question for you. So
yeah.
As a gay dude.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to think like, oh, Jussie Smollett, that was bullshit?
Well, what bothered me about the Jussie Smollett thing, and this is what always bothers me, and I've spent my life in New York City, LA, I've been to Chicago a bunch. I've witnessed very few things that I would consider, and I've been in places where everybody's drunk. I spent a lot of time with drunks in comedy clubs and things like that. People have yelled things out at me. I mean, it's part of the fucking contract you sign up for when you're a comedian. I've been on subways late at night and all that stuff. The idea that there were these Trump-supporting gang of people in a metropolitan city committing hate crimes seemed very weird to me. Impossible? No. But it seemed odd to me that when I heard that, it made me go, huh, really? Mm-hmm. At 2 a.m., there's just guys with Trump hats on going after Jussie Smollett, who's getting a Subway sandwich at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that was the thing that got me. I was like, aren't you rich? Why are you eating Subway?
Why aren't you Postmating or Grubhubbing something? It's freezing? And I did a video about this several weeks later. I was attacked by Elizabeth Warren supporters. I was hit with feathers and a headdress, and I was attacked. And so I understand what it's like. But yeah,
did they come back and apologize to you after it turned out that he was full of shit? I'm sure that they did.
Well, the weird thing about me is again, I came out late in life. I came out at 25. Then I started stand-up comedy. Right away, I quit drinking the same year. So you had all of these things happen at once. I became essentially another person, right? I never had the time to just be gay for 2 years and just party and drug it up and fuck. I came out, I had to stop doing drugs and drinking, and I started doing comedy. So it was this weird, but I was an actor as a little kid. I had a lot of traditionally gay experiences, right? I'm insanely talented and gorgeous. So when you have
you look like a ballerina.
I do. And you know what? I look like how they do when they don't do as well, because I've seen older ballerinas. So the reality is you're wrong and right at the same time. But I always, here's the thing, man. I hate groupthink. I've always hated it. It's so weird to me. It's the antithesis of humor, like this weird kind of cultish. I was a drug addict. I understand what it's like to live this binary existence of I'm either high or I'm sober, or I'm getting drugs, or I'm not getting drugs. And so to me, when I got rid of drugs and I stopped drinking and I went into comedy and I was doing this and I was following the path that I should be following, I really started to get weird about people that had, no room for nuance, because I'm like, that's where everything lives. Everything lives in nuance.
Yeah.
Jokes live in nuance. And I've always a fan of like, people say I don't present as gay, so it's easier for me. 100% true. They're 100% right about that. But like, being gay is the 10th most fucked up thing about me.
Right.
In terms of the life I've lived. I mean, I bought a house when I was 22 with a subprime mortgage on cocaine. I mean, most people wake up, gay people will wake up, or straight people wake up next to someone and go, how did I get here? I woke up in a $700,000 home and said, how did I get here? And then there was a stack of
there was
paper.
a title beside you?
Yeah, and I owned the property. So I had done all this weird shit. I mean, I dropped acid on 8th grade stage of my graduation. I was doing acid when I was in 8th grade. I was doing cocaine in 8th grade and 9th grade. Wow. I was hanging out at crack houses. I was like doing wild stuff. And then I was selling subprime mortgages for a long time, trying to help the country, really. And I was just involved in all this weird shit, man. And to me, sexuality is a part of the story, but it's not the whole story. For most people, it is their whole story.
For most gay people.
For most gay people, it is. There's nothing wrong with that, because it's like...
It is, but
there is, right? Yeah.
I mean, you're completely right. I mean, I find it I find it aggravating, and I don't find it interesting at all. But and like I lived like mostly in sort of queer circles for most of my life until I basically got excommunicated in the last few years. And when I think back about that time, it's like all we talked about was being gay. That's all we talked about.
Right.
That's so fucking boring.
I mean,
like
it is boring.
Everything was gay. Somebody be like paper or plastic, and I'd be like, I'm gay. It's just like, and it was just fucking boring.
It's boring.
It's boring.
It's weird.
And now that's everywhere. That's
everywhere.
Everybody.
Everyone's gay now, and it's weird. So I always felt like, I'm sure I had internalized homophobia, this, that, and the other thing. But then, like, there was a time in comedy when I started doing comedy, when I said I was gay on stage, people would say, ew, or like people would be like openly hostile to it. But then it turned to where like I even like, in longer sets I say it, in short sets I stopped saying it, because when I said it, people would clap. And that's like the worst thing in comedy. People be like, good for you, good for you. And then I'm like, oh, enough. What a weird fucking thing. What? Yeah. But people are heavily invested in that which makes them unique. And if what makes you unique is your sexuality, and otherwise you're a basic bitch person, if what makes you unique is your sex, which is what I love about all these people. They're like, I'm queer and I love the Real Housewives and I love, Frappuccino. And I'm like, you're just a basic bitch.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you sleep with. You have nothing unique about you.
Groups of queers are conformist, like every other group. They are. Right. I mean, they are. Right. It's just any group. You have we break up into these tribes. It's not that different from high school, and they're all like each other. And that's, I guess, an offensive thing to say, but this comes from like long observations of hanging out with these communities.
Yeah, I mean, how does it affect you? Like, when you say you're excommunicated, do you just not get the invites anymore?
Dude, no.
Yeah.
I like basically live a pretty friendless existence. And I do have, I have like 3 or 4 friends. I mean, most of them are older.
Normal.
Like I have friends in like their 60s and 70s now. And
just
part of that is also
just some old mountain lesbian you talk to who just
she's actually not a lesbian. She's straight. She lives on a houseboat and she chain smokes inside.
Oh
she's
my
brilliant.
God.
One of the most brilliant
this
people.
is what you want. That you don't want a lot of friends. I want a houseboat chain smoker.
Right.
Yeah.
She like moved to Seattle in the fucking 70s to learn how to be a pilot. I mean, she's just fascinating. Or I could hang out with queer people who only talk about being queer.
Right.
What do you prefer? So yeah, I would say I don't have very many friends, but I do have a wife and a dog, so I'm still technically gay.